Namaskar. Welcome back to the example number 15 for the event professional prospects. In this example, we had a detailed discussion on a male chart about his job changes in the previous video with the help of the EPS tables. Now, the same example we are going to study with the help of the PILT table through the key planets technique, how we can find the change causing key planets or indicated through the PILT table easily. Now let us examine the same chart on job changing periods with the help of the PILT table in this video. Example 15, timing of event, change and loss of job. We are going to study in this video with the help of the PILT table. This is the birth chart of that male native. Let us go to the PILT page and check this change of job and loss of job period with the help of the PILT table. So now we are on the PILT page. Now all the EPS colors, whatever we have given in the previous video that have been taken here. And let me choose the KP check all. So now let me keep open the self significators as well. As we discussed already, that Venus, Sun, Moon are the planet with unfavorable signification, with favorable and strongly unfavorable also. All the blue color planets, Rahu, Saturn, and Mercury are favorable along with the change causing houses 4, 5, 6, 11, and 9, 10, and 3, and 1, 2, 5, 6, 3, 11. They are all supportive for change of job. So the blue colors are supportive for that. So overall, all the planets are good except the Venus, Sun, and Moon. If you look at the natal chart, the Sun, Moon, and Venus, which are we are calling as a mixed, weak significator or mixed significator, all these three planets are conjoined together in the sign of Venus. Now we are going to study the destiny. Destiny rulers are 10th Lord is Saturn and 10th cuspal sublord is Jupiter. We have to study both the planets. 10th Lord is Saturn and 10th sublord is Jupiter. So let us check 10th Lord first. 10th Lord is Saturn. Saturn, 10th Lord, blue planet, it is favorable with change causing. It is not unfavorable, it is supportive. And its second planet, Sun, that is Saturn in the sign of Sun, it is weak. And star level Ketu good, and Jupiter is good, and 2A level, sub level, all are supportive houses only. And star lord of the sub lord Moon is got weakness because Moon, Venus, and Sun, these three planets are all having the weakness. So that 10th Lord planet is not having the other unfavorable key planet in the primary ruler, that is star level or sub level, but it is there in the star lord or the sub lord. And importantly, Saturn is influenced by the Sun. And other key planets that Saturn, Mercury, Rahu are change causing key planets. So overall, it is good, only star level is better. That way, it is good only, but only that Saturn is influenced by the moon at the last level, right? So otherwise, it is not bad. And 10th sublord is Jupiter. Jupiter is the 10th sublord. 10th sublord Jupiter is in the star of Rahu, sub of Saturn. Both are supportive for changes, and that moon is star lord of the star lord, and moon is there in the source planet. Jupiter is having all the three planets, mixed key planets, and moon itself is playing at the 2A level planet. I mean, fortunately, it is not ruling the star level or sub level, but this Jupiter 10th sublord is having the favorable key planets in the primary rulers and other rulers in supports, And unfavorable key planets, Venus, Sun, are influencing the Jupiter by way of supports, and Sun is also playing strongly by way of support, and Moon is also playing role as one of the ruler. So that way, the unfavorable key planets, Venus, Sun, and Moon, are influencing the destiny planet, but not directly, only by way of supports and the secondary level planet. That way, this is good. That is Jupiter, 10th sublord planet, is favorable for a notable job prospects. So destiny is influenced by the Venus, Sun, and Moon. And we have to check the Dasa Lord if it is under the influence of the favorable or unfavorable key planets of the destiny. Now let us check the Dasa Lord. So I was telling in the previous video wherein we are talking about the job prospects changing, causing periods from the Saturn Dasa. So the same thing we let us check from Saturn Dasa, Moon Bugdi. From that I was telling about the job changing periods. In Saturn Dasa, Moon Bugdi, Rahu Antra, the native got the change. Prior to that also there would have been changes, but I was focusing only on the last 4-5 job changing periods for the study purpose. Saturn Dasa, Moon Bugdi, Rahu Andhra, the native got the change. Now let us check the Saturn Dasa. Saturn is nothing but our 10th lord, which already discussed, 10th Kaspar lord planet. That Saturn is influenced by the sun and star lord of the sublord moon. So that planet Saturn is not directly having that unfavorable key planets, but under the influence of sun and also moon. Now look at the star lord planet Ketu. Saturn in the star of Ketu is green planet, and second planet Jupiter is also good. But whenever the node is coming at the star level or any level, the node planet when we are talking about, look at the Rasi Lord support planets also. If the Rasi Lord support planets are under the influence of any unfavorable, through the Rasi Lord, that node planet will indirectly get the influence, right? Ketu in the sign of Jupiter, Ketu is not getting any unfavorable influence of the sun or moon or Venus. But look at the Jupiter. Jupiter is the 10th cuspal sublord, that is good, but under the influence of Venus, sun, and moon. So that planet is under the influence of sun, and star level planet Ketu through the Jupiter, through the Rasilat, it is getting the influence of Sun, Venus, and Moon, right? Look at the Rahu. Rahu is not having any unfavorable, but Rahu itself having change causing. I'm talking about unfavorable. We Ragu in the sign of Mercury. Mercury is not having these unfavorable in their ruler. So the unfavorable key planets that are ruling, influencing the Dasa Lord is Sun, Venus, and Moon. Moon already influencing at the last level. It is playing at the star lord of the sublord. That is also having Venus and Sun in its rule, in its supports. So in Saturn Dasa, the unfavorable key planet which is influencing the Saturn Dasa is Sun, and all other key planets also playing role in supports only, right? And Moon is significantly playing as one of the ruler by way of star lord or the sublord, and also influencing the second planet Ketu through the Rasi lord. Jupiter is having the Moon in its supports. So Moon is as important unfavorable key planet, then comes the sun, then comes the Venus. Now in Saturn Dasa, Moon Bhukti. So which we already discussed, Moon is one of the important unfavorable key planet of the Dasa Lord, that Moon itself is playing, and Moon is having that Venus and Sun, the unfavorable key planet, and Moon in the star of Rahu. Rahu is the planet, is change causing key planet, right? And that is good, supportive for changes. And 2 level planet Moon, again Moon is coming, and Ketu is coming at the sub-level planet. Ketu represents Jupiter, that Jupiter is having this already this unfavorable K planet. And moreover, In the Saturn Mahadasa, which is the favorable key planet? Ketu and Jupiter, right? They are the favorable key planets, and of course, that Jupiter is getting the influence of the unfavorable also, but Ketu and Jupiter are the strong favorable key planets. So that Bugdi Lord is having that favorable key planets Ketu and Jupiter in supports, and also Jupiter is playing role at the other levels by way of supports. Ketu also, that way it is good. Now Rahu is having that change causing key planet. Ketu also supportive for the changes, favor with the favorable signification. So in Moon Bukti, which is the unfavorable key planet of the Dasa Lord, that Moon is going to act as the Bukti Lord, and star level support for the changes that Moon Rahu is playing, that they are also playing role here. And since the sublord is favorable for the job prospects, it is supportive for the change of job. So in Saturn Dasa, Moon Bugdi is supportive for change of job. But within that Moon Bugdi, which Antra will favor for the change of job? In the Moon Bugdi, which are the favorable key planet for change of job? Obviously, Rahu is the favorable key planet, and our Moon. Moon is the unfavorable, change causing key planet Rahu, and also Moon is having changes with obstacles, right? This is mixed key planet 35938. It is favorable for changes. Rahu also favorable for the changes. Change caused by Moon Rahu combination. So definitely Antara Lord should have this change causing key planet Moon and Rahu, and also supported by the favorable key planets. In other words, in that case, you can see that the key planets of the Bugdi Lord, which is playing role in the Antra with the favorable significator, will favor for the change of job. Which planet is having the both Moon and Rahu? In Moon Bugdi, Mars Antra will not give. Look at Rahu Antra. Rahu is the star lord of the moon. Moon unfavorable, further supported by the Rahu by way of change causing key planet. That itself is playing role, and star lord planet is the Bugdi Lord's unfavorable key planet, change causing key planet. That again the Rahu is coming. So sublord is Ketu favoring for this is a good key planet. So Saturn, Moon, Rahu are favorable for the change. Understand? I'll make it very simple that way that look at the Dasa Lord's key planet, favorable key planet for change causing key planet, which are they? Rahu and Moon. And this grouping is not good for the stability, it is supportive for changes. And moreover, Ketu in the sign of Jupiter is holding that Moon and Venus also and Sun also in its supports. So in the Saturn Dasa, in Moon Bukti, Moon itself is the unfavorable key planet of the Dasa Lord, which is ruling the Bukti itself, and other unfavorable key planets are ruling. And this Rahu and Moon are the key planets of the Dasa is playing role directly. In addition to that, favorable key planets are ruling the sublord and star lord of the sublord. So that way, Moon, Rahu, that well connected to the Saturn Dasa Lord, and so that in Saturn Dasa, Moon Bugdi, it is supportive for change, but in the favorable Antra, which is also under the influence of this Moon and Rahu and favorable key planet Ketu. That way, that Rahu, this one is the one which is connected to the Bugdi Lord. So, in that Rahu Antra, the native got the change of job. I think you're able to understand. Now, after Saturn Dasa, Moon Bugdi, Mars Bugdi was running. Whether Mars, no, before that, sorry, before that, in Moon Bugdi itself, any other planet like Rahu Moon combination, Moon Rahu combination in the primary levels, it is present. And that can also cause change of job, right? So that we have to check that. After Rahu, Jupiter is running. Jupiter planet also in the star and 2A level of Rahu. Rahu moon is playing role at the star level and 2A level. But the problem here, sublord also Saturn representing that influenced by Sun, And that Jupiter is a favorable key planet passing ruler link to the other levels also. Because of that, this is not favoring for changes. Star level and sub level both are ruled by the, change causing key planet. Importantly, the Saturn sublord is having only 9, 10, 3 and also influenced by the Sun. This is not very strong for change causing because sublord should be favorable, right? Star lord can cause changes, sublord should favor for that. So that way, Jupiter under Moon Bugdi, Jupiter Antra is not strong enough. Saturn Antra will not strong enough for change of job because planet and star level, 2 level, they are not talking about that. And Mercury also will not. Ketu also will not. Yes, Venus. Venus also in the star of this planet, Rahu Moon, same combination is coming. Sublord also Rahu Moon and Venus itself is weak. Can see moon in the sign of Venus. Venus is influencing moon and Venus itself is playing. Moon is influencing the Venus. So that way it is ready to give trouble during that period. But as I said, Rahu star level like this and sub level here Saturn, here Rahu only. You look at Rahu, Rahu is better than Saturn or not. Rahu, if you look at 4, 5, 6, 11 with the Mercury favorable significator. And Rahu is having Jupiter only in support. Jupiter is a good key planet. Whereas Saturn 9, 10, and 3, when compared to Rahu, it is got some weakness. Moreover, when Saturn is not having Jupiter in its supports, it is having only Sun, which is weak. So this is weaker when compared to this. So because of that, in Saturn Dasa, Moon Bugdi, after Rahu Antra, Venus Antra got the change. So Saturn Dasa, Moon Bugdi, Rahu Antra and Venus Antra gave the change and not in the Jupiter Antra the native got the change. Right? So now after Moon Bhukti, Mars Antra were running. Mars is not having the unfavorable key planet of the Sol Lord or the destiny that is Moon or Venus or Sun. Nothing they are playing role in the ruler. So Mars will not favor for any change of job. Then comes the Rahu. Rahu, if you look at Rahu is favorable change causing key planet. Star Lord is having some weakness, definitely. And Star Lord of the Star Lord Rahu itself has got the, favorable with change causing key planet. And sublord is Ketu. This is very good, right? So when compared to the moon, Rahu, if you look at moon in the star of Rahu, Rahu in the star of moon, influence of moon is on the higher side. Here, Rahu in the star of moon, it is weak only, but in the star of Rahu, so favor here the Rahu role is stronger. So Rahu role is stronger with all the favorable key planets further supported by the Ketu. Because of that, under Saturn Dasa, Rahu Bugdi is not strong enough for a change of job, though it is indicating some sort of challenges. But Rahu Bugdi under Saturn was not supportive for any changes. Please understand, in Moon Bugdi, Rahu Antara has given the change, but Saturn Dasa, Rahu Bugdi did not favor for change. The native would have faced some challenges, but it is not supportive for change of job. Now, after that Rahu, Jupiter Bugdi started. Saturn Dasa, Jupiter Bugdi started. Whether Jupiter is favorable for changes, that we have to check it. Jupiter is good, star level, good planet, is in the star of change causing key planet, again in the sub of change causing key planet, and Jupiter is passing its favorable signification. So this is supportive for change of job during its Bugdi. Saturn Dasa, Jupiter Bugdi, since Jupiter itself is strong enough for change causing key planet with the star level and sub level, and that Jupiter is holding that under the influence of the unfavorable key planet, Moon, the Lord's Moon, Sun, and also Venus in the source itself, and also in the sublord. So that way, that is, and also star level and sub level are ruled by the change causing key planet. So Saturn Dasa, which is the strong favorable key planet for changes in the Dasa Lord, Dasa Lords, Saturn Dasa Lord, which is the favorable key planet for change causing key planet, Saturn itself, right? Because Saturn itself 9, 10, 3. So the Bugdi Lord, which is holding that Saturn in the ruler, is Jupiter. Jupiter in the sub of Saturn. That Saturn is the key planet of the Dasa Lord, and also that Jupiter in the star of Rahu, that is also supportive for change, further supported by 12 level planet. So that Bugdi Lord Jupiter itself is strong enough for change during its own sub period. In Jupiter, Jupiter itself, the native god, the change. You understand? Because Jupiter itself is strong enough. Please, and I like to tell one thing. I like to tell one thing that the Jupiter Bugdi under Saturn Dasa is supportive for change of job. I said because Saturn, the Dasa Lord's unfavorable key planet, is playing role at the sublord, and that star level planet also unfavorable. I mean, that change causing key planet that is also playing role here for the Saturn. So Rahu moon role and Saturn role all are playing role for Jupiter. So Jupiter is a favorable primary cuspal sublord planet in the star and sub of change causing key planet, supportive for change. But please understand, when I was telling about Saturn Dasa moon Bugdi, Rahu got the change, but I said in Jupiter is not strong enough to give change as Antra, because under moon Bugdi, and under the moon Bugdi, Rahu is not strong enough for change, because moon itself having got weakness. The Antra Lord should be supportive. I mean, it should be free from that role of that moon, influence of the moon, and also at sublord should be favorable, because that Antara Lord should be having the favorable key planets in the ruler other than the change causing key planet. Rahu is having that moon and also favorable key planet which is supportive for change. But whereas Jupiter is in the star and sub of change causing key planet, so that as Antara Rahu, sorry, Jupiter is not strong enough to act as the Antara under the moon. Understand? But under that Jupiter Bugdi, under the Saturn Dasa, as Jupiter Bugdi, it can support for change of job because it is under directly coming under the control of the Saturn. Saturn Jupiter can support for change, not Moon. Bugdi's Jupiter Antara is not supportive for change, right? So in Saturn, Jupiter, he got the change of job. In Jupiter, which are the favorable key planets, or which are the planets are influencing the Jupiter for change? Obviously, Rahu Moon combination, right? And also Saturn is coming. So now under the Jupiter Bugdi Jupiter Antra, other than that Jupiter Antra, any other Antra under Jupiter Bugdi is supportive for change of job. Look at which are the planets are having this Rahu Jupiter, Rahu Sun combination, sorry, Rahu Moon combination, and also influenced by the Saturn. We have to check it. Which are the planets are influencing the Dasa Bugdi Lord Jupiter, reducing the favorable strength of the Jupiter is Rahu. By suppose all the red color planets are present, sorry, pink and red are present, and directly as the ruler is Rahu, supported by Moon, and then comes the Saturn. So those planets will be playing role in the Antra Lord also in Jupiter Dasa, sorry, Jupiter Bugdi. We have to check which are the planets are under the influence of these unfavorable key planets of the Bugdi Lord. Saturn is not having that Rahu and Moon in the primary levels, only at the last level. And Mercury also not having that. Ketu also not having that. Venus is having that. And the Sun and Moon is having that. and Rahu also having that. Now we have to check that in Saturn Dasa Jupiter Bugdi, Jupiter after Jupiter Antra, whether Saturn, not Saturn, Ketu, no. Venus, Moon, or Rahu, which is strongly favorable for Moon or Rahu or Venus. Out of these three antras, with which antra is strong enough to support for change of job? So change of job, unfavorable key planets, Rahu, Moon are playing role for all these three planets, right? Now, other than this role of the unfavorable key planets, favorable key planets also should be there in the Antara lot for the change, right? So, in that Jupiter Bhukti, which are the favorable key planet? Jupiter itself and Ketu, Jupiter. So, Jupiter and Ketu are the strong favorable key planets of the Bhukti lot. So that Antrala should be under the influence of the Ragu moon, that is these three. Other than that, which are having that role of the Jupiter or Ketu, the ruler, Venus is there? No, Venus is not having the role of the favorable key planet in the ruler, so it will not give it. So next comes Moon and Ragu only. So Moon and Ragu only under the influence of the Ketu as the sublord. Then out of them, which is better? Either Moon or Rahu. Obviously Rahu, because Moon itself having weakness and the source, but Rahu is not having weakness in the source. So, and star level as change casting key planet, star level again it is having some weakness, but 2A level Rahu. So that role of the unfavorable key planet is significantly playing role at the planet level, and 2A level are also in all in supports. But whereas Rahu, it is not like that. Rahu is starting with the favorable key planet with the change causing. That is the one which is influencing the Jupiter. So under the Jupiter book, the Rahu Antra, the again that native got the changes. I think you are able to understand. So, how come in Jupiter book the Rahu Antra favored for change, not the other book, other antras, that is Venus and Moon Antra, which are also having the unfavorable key planet of the Bugdi Lord, because they are free from the favorable key planet of the Bugdi Lord, and out of them, one planet is having the favorable key planet, but it is unfavorable key planet is strongly present. So, because of that, Moon is not strong enough, Rahu only strong enough. So now we have studied Saturn Dasa, Jupiter Bugdi, Rahu Antra got the change. Then after that, Saturn, Jupiter over. Jupiter Bugdi, Rahu Antra, that Jupiter Bugdi over. Then obviously Saturn Dasa itself is over. Then comes the Mercury Dasa. Now we have to check the Mercury Dasa. So Mercury Dasa is running, and Mercury Dasa is good. And let me note it down. Mercury Dasa, it is good, and no strong unfavorable significators are playing directly. Only the Saturn. Saturn is having that Sun in its supports, and 2 level and sub-level Ketu. Ketu is good, but look at Jupiter. As I said, Jupiter is good only, but Jupiter has got weakness through its supports. Jupiter planet is having that all the three planets, Venus also there, Venus, Sun, and Moon are influencing the sign Lord Jupiter, right? So that way, Mercury in the star and sub favorable key planet. Star Lord has got some weakness, but 2 level and sub level are favorable key planet. And Star Lord and sub Lord also good. And influencing unfavorable key planets is direct or not directly playing role. That is good when compared to the previous dasa. Influence of the unfavorable key planets, a ruler is not there. Only by way of supports, especially Sun, Venus. Sun is present, influencing the second level planet, Star Lord itself. Star Lord Saturn is change causing key planet that to influenced by Sun. And to a level and sub level Ketu through the sign Lord, it is getting the influence, right? So in Mercury Dasa, Mercury Bukti itself, it is very good. It is favoring for the job prospect. No significant changes. I mean, no change is indicated in Mercury Dasa, Mercury Bukti itself, because all other antras are under the influence of other unfavorable key planet which are not playing role in the Bukti, right? Dasa and Bukti. But you look at, as I said, in the Mercury Bugdi, which is the unfavorable key planet, making the Bugdi Lord, sorry, in Mercury Dasa, Mercury Bugdi itself, right? In Mercury Bugdi itself, which is the unfavorable key planet, weakening the Bugdi Lord, obviously Saturn, right? Saturn is the 8th Lord, 9th Lord, 10th Lord occupying third house and influenced by the Sun. So Saturn is the change causing key planet in the Dasa Bugdi Mercury. So the planet which is under the influence of the Saturn and also that Ketu influenced by the favorable Jupiter and also unfavorable Venus Sun. So the planet which is under the influence of the Saturn, Ketu, that antra will support for change. In that case, you can see which planet is holding that significator. Both Saturn, Ketu are playing role here. Here Saturn, Ketu playing, and Rahu is not having, Jupiter is not having, only at the last level. Here Saturn, Ketu playing. So now here Mars planet, good planet, I mean, is in the star of Saturn, sub of Mars itself. This is not causing any change, not supportive for significant changes under the Mercury Dasa, Mercury Bugdi, Mars is not favoring for any change. But whereas look at Saturn, which is influencing the Mercury, that itself is acting as the Antra Lord, and star level planet Ketu representing Jupiter is under the influence of Sun and Venus, and to a level is Mercury, that is the Dasa Lord itself, Bugdi Lord itself, again change causing key planet, and Rahu is also supportive for changes. So in Mercury, Saturn Antra, the native got the change, right? Mercury, Saturn, he got the change of job. After that, Mercury over, then Ketu was running. In Mercury Dasa, Ketu book the supportive for any change. Ketu, look at Ketu is good. Ketu star level is Mercury, 2 level. They are all having favorable significations, right? And Ketu, Jupiter are present, and the I mean unfavorable K planet role is not straight away present. Only at the last level, Venus is present. That Venus is 12.5 in the sub-level planet, indicating supportive for some changes or challenges, not changes, because star level and 2A level, Ketu, they are all favorable only. They are not having the unfavorable key planet in their rulers, right? Now look at Venus. Venus, after that, I'm telling about in Mercury Ketu, there is no change. Then we are talking about Mercury Venus. Mercury book Dasa, Venus Bukti, that is the running Bukti. Mercury Dasa, Venus Bukti, whether is capable to change of job. Venus on its own, it has got weakness and source level and 2A level, star lord or sublord, all are having unfavorable, right? That is present, it is ready to give trouble, but it is ready to give second planet also supportive for changes. But we should be able, we should find whether that Venus, other than having the unfavorable key planets in their ruler, whether it is having the PILT connection with the Dasa Lord Mercury. Whether there is any connection between the Dasa Lord's Mercury and also the Bugdi Lord Venus. The unfavorable key planets which are influencing the Dasa Lord Mercury is Saturn by way of Sun. And the other key planet, that is Jupiter through the Venus, Sun and Moon, right? So that Antra Lord already having, suppose, sorry, not Antra Lord, Bugdi Lord, if you take Venus Bugdi, how it is going to act under the Mercury, and Bugdi Lord itself having unfavorable in its ruler, And importantly, we have to check that whether these Bugdil are under the influence of the unfavorable key planet which are influencing the Dasa Lord. What are the sun? And through the sun, Saturn. Because Saturn is the one which is influencing the Mercury and also sun. And Venus and moon. Look at Venus already there in the source, and look at Venus is under the influence of sun, right? And also Saturn also influencing the that Venus. So sun and Saturn and of course moon all are influencing the Venus itself is unfavorable. And Rahu planet is supportive for change, that representing the Mercury, that Dasa Lord itself. And also that favorable key planets of the Dasa Lord is Ketu, Jupiter, that they are playing role not as the ruler, but they are influencing the Bugdi Lord Venus by way of supports, right? You can see Jupiter, Ketu, all are present in the supports. The favorable key planets are influencing the Bugdi Lord by way of supports, and also ruler also. The Rahu is supportive for changes, which is influencing the Dasa Lord that is ruling as the ruler. And importantly, the unfavorable key planets which are influencing the Dasa Lord, they are also influencing the Bugdi Lord. When that Bugdi Lord is influenced by the other unfavorable key planets of the Dasa Lord, they are also holding that unfavorable key planet and their rulers. They are strong enough to support for changes. So in Mercury Dasa, Venus Bugdi is supportive for changes. But in the Venus Bugdi, again, in one antra, that native can face changes, right? In Venus Bugdi, which are the unfavorable key planets are strongly influencing Venus? That Venus itself, and Sun is a free planet, and Sun is influencing Venus strongly. So that itself is playing role at the 1, 2, 3 level, and Sun is the one which is influencing the Bugdi Lord, sorry, Dasa Lord through the star level Saturn. So Sun is the strong unfavorable key planet influencing the Dasa Lord. That is significantly it is influencing, right? So even sun itself is acting as the antra. In Venus book, the sun antra, the unfavorable key planet which is influencing the book, the Lord Venus is sun. When that sun itself is acting as the antra, already influenced by the other unfavorable, that itself a free planet influencing other levels also by way star level planet by your supports, and last level that Saturn is playing role. Saturn is forming ruler link. So it means Venus is weak. Venus signification is very weak, and sun is supporting to the Venus, making that weakness more. That sun itself is acting as the antra lord, and in the star of Jupiter is supportive, and that Jupiter also under the influence of sun. So because of this unfavorable influence of the sun, that native during that Venus book, the sun antra, he lost the job because the company, for some reason, they told to leave the job. He lost the job in Venus, the Bugdi Sun Antra, because of this grouping. But since that Sun itself is in the star level, sub level, or having favorable key planet, Jupiter is playing role here, and role all supported by the ruler's link, and also other planets also ruled by favorable key planets. So definitely in Sun Antra, though the native lost the job under the Venus Bukti, in Sun Antra he lost the job. The same Sun Antra supported for new job because it is also having favorable key planets, right? So that way the native lost the job during that Sun Antra, but same Sanantra got the new job also. But because of the influence of the sun in the Antra Lord and in the Bugdi Lord and also Dasa Lord also, that impact, that too, the Bugdi Lord is strongly having unfavorable key planets, role is importantly present, that whatever the job he is getting in the Venus Bugdi, that is not very strongly favorable. He is not getting a job with the stability. He is not happy with the job, or he has got the job not with a good package. Under Venus Bugdi Sun Antra, in the previous, now we are in December, September, prior to that September, he got a job in the in October, September, before that, October, during that period, he got in Moon Sun Antra, he got the new job. But he is looking for another job because he's not satisfied because of the Bugdi Lord is not strong enough. And so because of that, he is not happy with the job. That moon itself is playing role. Definitely, it will not give the happiness. So, during that Venus Bugdi, Moon Antra will not favor for change of job, but because it needs again Moon, so again Venus and all playing role, unfavorable influence also more present, so it will give challenges, not changes. But whereas look at the Rahu Andhra, which is going to come in the next year, 2024, after April, that Rahu will support for change of job, because Rahu in the star of the moon is the unfavorable key planet of the Bugdi Lord also, under the influence of sun also there in its supports. Because of that, and favorable key planets are present. So under Venus Dasa, Venus is influenced by Rahu, Moon, that Rahu Moon is playing role. It will support for a new job that is comparatively better. So the role of the key planets, how they are all supportive in making the combination, PILT connection between the Bugdi and Antra, favorable key planets and unfavorable key planets of the Bugdi and connected to the Antra, then only they are supportive for changes. Otherwise, they will give some sort of, challenges or struggle, but it will not favor for changes. I think you're able to understand how far the PILT connection, one Bugdi and one Antra, how they are all connected to each other, and how the Dasa Bugdi Antra combination, they are supportive for changes. I think you're able to understand. By repeated watching, you will understand the value of the PILT connections through the key planets. So we will meet in the next example. Good luck.